Oh, yeah. Is it Monday already? Okay, chat. This is the last ever prediction stream for Skeleton Crew for the finale of this Skeleton Crew series. It sounds like a sad sentence, the last ever prediction stream for the Skeleton Crew series, but it's going to be a fun one because we have no idea what is coming in this finale. Who's going to live? Who's going to die? Who's going to take At-Aten as their own? Will it be the New Republic? Will it be Grand Admiral Thrawn? Will it be the pirates? Or will the people of At-Aten win the day and claim their home world as their own? Only time will tell. The final episode for Skeleton Crew is tomorrow, and we're going to predict all of it in today, I guess, live stream. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Monday afternoon? Yes, this is the final prediction stream for the Skeleton Crew series, but from runtimes to crazy deaths that might be coming to possible wild appearances of a Mando and Grogu, of a Grand Admiral Thrawn, of a Hera Syndulla, of a Mon Mothma, who could be showing up to save the day in this final episode? Well, we're going to predict all of it because this is the final time we have to do so. And we're going to talk about what Jude Law has to say about the finale, what the actress for KB has to say about the finale, and what John Watts and Christopher Ford themselves have to say about the finale, too. So without further ado, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? What's up, chat? All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this finale? Because I'm beyond a 10 at this point. This show has gotten better and better and better pretty much every week as this show has gone along, and I can't wait for this finale. But tell me what you think in the chat. All right, let's say hi to everybody first. Matthew, what's up? WUV grad, how we doing? JC in the house. I Haja, what is up? Mr./X, what is up? Skywalker Academy in the house. Star Wars Order, what is up? Justin, what is up? Rachel, how we doing? Ms. Honey, what is up? Brandon Baker in the house. Blue Cat, what's up? 50 Thunder, how we doing? Adam, what's up? Troy in the house. Safari Tano, what is up? Fearless, how we doing? Another Mike who loves Star Wars, what's up? Thick Cone, how we doing? Rebel Sith, what's up? Mike, how we? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay. So, Star Wars Santa, what's up? Santa, thank you again for sending me that video. We're going to watch it again today because the runtime for tomorrow's episode might have been revealed by the actor who plays Wim in an interview, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Okay. So first things first, we got to talk about, obviously, how episode 7 ended. This massive cliffhanger of Jod igniting the lightsaber right next to all the kids and their parents after threatening the kids that he would slice and dice their parents if they said a word. If they kept their mouths shut, they'd be fine. But if they say anything at all, he will slice and dice their parents, chopping them up, torturing them, and he will love it because he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy, chat. He's a bad guy. So there's a lot of questioning of whether or not he's going to actually slice and dice these people right away. I don't think so. I think the only reason he ignites his lightsaber at the end of that episode is to, one, remind the kids of that threat, remind the kids to be scared, to not say a word, but also to show the parents and the droids that he is a Jedi. He is this Republic emissary that they've been waiting for all these years. And he's supposed to be there. But if the kids say a word, then he's going to kill their parents. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the kids won't say anything, and that's how the episode's going to start. Not him slicing and dicing people, but him going, I'm a Jedi. What's up, everybody? So I think we'll learn about who the Supervisor is in this episode. I think we'll learn about Jod's backstory in this episode. I think we're going to learn a shit ton in this one tiny little episode. So let's first talk about runtime. I think that seems to be the place we should start. How long is this episode going to be with all these unanswered questions? Who created At-Aten? Why did they hide At-Aten? When did they hide At-Aten? How old is At-Aten? Who is the Supervisor? What is Jod's backstory? Is Jedi Nina Nawood actually going to be in the show? There are so many unanswered questions that need to be answered in this final episode. So how are they going to get to all of it? Well, the actor who plays Wim, Ravi, thankfully gave us an answer. Shout out to Star Wars Santa for this one, but let's take a gander at
Do
this.
you have a personal favorite episode?
Oh, I'm going to say either 6 or 8 are my favorite.
So he says 6 or 8. Episode 6 was the one where all the kids, they had their sort of emotional episode. KB had the problems on Lanupa. They were trying to get back to their ship. They went different ways. It was a very kid-centered episode, so that's why he probably likes that. A lot of kid acting going on there and incredible performances from these kids. But he says episode 6 or 8. And 8 is, of course, the finale.
Favorites. I did love the last episode so much.
And he says, I did love the last episode. He's talking about episode 7 because this interview happened after episode 7.
That's
Yeah,
close,
that the moment with
close fourth, I would say, and third. Episode 1 is my third favorite, I would say. But
I know what you're saying on 6.
Yeah, I loved 6, and 8 is just, oh my gosh, 8 is so good.
Oh boy,
8 is so good. Now here it's gonna cut out for a second, but I'll get to it.
It's such a long episode.
It
I'll
is?
tell you, it's over.
Yeah.
So it cut there. He says it's and then it cuts, and then he screams, yeah. So this was a live stream, and shout out to Star Wars Santa, was on the live stream. He says what was cut here was over 50 minutes, quote unquote, over 50 minutes. Meaning this 8th episode is going to be a long one. Actually, if it is over 50 minutes, as Wim says here, then it will make it the longest episode of the series thus far. But I asked this in the last stream, and I'm going to ask it again. Is 50 minutes plus long enough? It will be the longest episode of this series by a lot. So is it long enough? Is this what we've been waiting for? And will it be enough to answer all the questions and bring a close to this Skeleton Crew series in the way that I hope it will? In some gigantic, climactic, epic Star Wars battle. No? You still don't think it's long enough? Yes. Okay. Interesting. His voice has already changed. I know. When you look at the interviews from these kids, they already look so much older. That's the thing. If we want a second season of Skeleton Crew, which we'll talk about after the finale, but if we want a second season of Skeleton Crew, it's going to have to be a pretty big time jump, like John Watts and Christopher Ford have talked about, at least a 3, 4, 5-year time jump, because these kids grow up so quickly. Like, he already looks so much older than he does and sounds so much older than he does in the Skeleton Crew series. These kids are 10, 11, 12. They're going to grow fast. By the next time we see them, they might be 15 or 16, and they might look like adults. So, yeah, there'll definitely have to be a time jump for that. 50 minutes of pure content and not with an opening and closing credits, then it would be okay. Okay. I'm guessing that plus the 50 plus minutes is with credits. Yeah. So you're looking at least 40 to 45 to maybe close to 50 minutes of actual content. Yeah. A season 2 announcement would be perfect. I don't think we'd see a season 2 announcement until Star Wars Celebration, if that's when it was going to be. It's enough to set up a second season. I don't think that's what they're going for here. I think this finale will actually put a close to this first season and maybe not set up a second season of Skeleton Crew, but set up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. If you look out into the horizon, like Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, looking at the twin suns, then you'll see that the next Mandoverse time period project, the next post-original trilogy, pre-sequel trilogy project is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Now, that movie doesn't release until May of 2026, a year and a half from now, almost. But that's the next project in the Mandoverse time period. So this Skeleton Crew show has to sort of, in a way, whether it be very small or enormous, set up that Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Now, there is this rumor going around today that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is going to have a very strange plot, or at least what I think is going to be a very strange plot. This was sort of announced today, or rumored around today. Let's take a look at this. Where was that? Oh, I'm looking on the wrong thing. Duh. Okay. So check this out. This is the rumor going around right now today. And honestly, I'm not a fan, but let's take a look at this. This is coming from Christian Harloff, who, again, take it with a giant grain of salt. He's right a lot. He's wrong a lot. It fully depends. But the main plot of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is rumored to be about the Mandalorian and Grogu rescuing Jabba the Hutt's son from Embo, who wants to kill him. Embo is the bounty hunter of the Clone Wars. If you don't know who that is, let me show a picture. Embo, Star Wars. Whoops. Yeah. This handsome fella right here. I was actually just watching, me and Sam were just watching this Clone Wars episode where Embo gets first introduced. Honestly, chat, this does not sound like a good movie to me. I'm going to be completely honest. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming to the theaters for the first time, and the plot is going to be the exact same as the Clone Wars movie plot? What? That doesn't sound good at all. It's an exact copy and paste of the Clone Wars movie? And Jabba the Hutt's son didn't grow at all? Yeah, it doesn't sound right to me. That's why I just call BS on it immediately. Yes, Embo is cool. He's a great bounty hunter. Seeing him come to live action would be cool too. But that can't be the plot of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. We're talking about bigger and better things here. We're talking about way bigger and better things here. We're talking Grand Admiral Thrawn. We're talking Heir to the Empire. We're talking a canon version of the Heir to the Empire trilogy with Thrawn, Luke, Leia, Han, with Din and Boba Fett and Ahsoka all thrown in there for a canon adaptation. We're not talking Embo saves Rada the Hutt. We're not talking an absolute recopy of the Clone Wars movie. No. That would be a disaster. An absolute disaster. Somebody says, no way. They literally showed snowtroopers in the trailer for the show that they showed. That's true. I mean, there is an Imperial remnant in the trailer. So that would make sense. There's just no way in my mind that this rumor could be true, because why would you do that? Why would you rehash the Clone Wars movie when the Clone Wars movie is the lowest rated Star Wars project that has ever existed? Ever. Audience score and critic score. It seems wrong. It seems very, very wrong. Because we're going to talk about how Skeleton Crew is going to set up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie with Grand Admiral Thrawn, with the Heir to the Empire, and with all that fun stuff. And it has nothing, absolutely nothing, to do with Embo and Jabba the Hutt's son, Stinky the Hutt. But with that, the Acolyte is lower. Well, the Acolyte's audience score, yes, is lower. That is true. But with that, let's talk about how Skeleton Crew will set up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, okay? We have a bunch of characters that could show up in this Skeleton Crew finale, but to me, the most likely would be Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, with that being said, I'm going to put up a poll in the chat. I'm going to give you 4 options, and 4 options only, because I can only give you 4 options. And those options are going to be, hang on, it's who do you think is most likely, again, most likely, so you can only pick one, most likely to show up in Skeleton Crew finale. Is it Grand Admiral Thrawn? Is it Din and Grogu? Is it Hera Syndulla? Or is it nobody? Who do we think is showing up in the Skeleton Crew series? Is it Grand Admiral Thrawn? Will he come in as the Heir to the Empire, claim At-Aten, claim the treasures of At-Aten, take all those billions upon billions, if not trillions, of credits in those 1,139 vaults for his own, to create his army, to create the First Order, maybe? Or will Hera Syndulla show up? Will the New Republic save the day? The New Republic claiming all these credits and At-Aten as their own to fund them, as their government is very, very weak right now, does not even span to the Outer Rim. Will they fund their own government and be the cause of what actually defeats Grand Admiral Thrawn? Possibly. Or will Din and Grogu show up? My personal favorite on this list, Din Djarin and Grogu, to not only set up their movie with them themselves, but also because Mandalore and Dathomir, Mandalore is in close proximity to At-Aten in the Star Wars universe. Now, yes, Din Djarin and Grogu, when we last saw them, were on Navarro. But Navarro is also probably close in proximity, as it is in the Outer Rim as well. But who do we think is the most likely to show up? What do we think, chat? What do we think? Holy crap, really? 45% of you right off the bat say no one. That's shocking. You guys really don't think this is going to tie in at all to what's to come next? Whether it's Grand Admiral Thrawn or Hera Syndulla with the New Republic? You don't think it's going to tie in at all? Here's how I see this finale going. Just a very basic sort of premise to start it off, okay? I think we will see Grand Admiral Thrawn, or sorry, not Grand Admiral Thrawn. We will see Jod take down the barrier, and the pirates will come down to the surface. It'll start this big sort of battle scene, and in all the chaos, KB calls out to her good pal, Kim, the owl from episode 3, that said, if you ever need help, call me. That was clearly for a reason. She will call Kim, and Kim will send the New Republic. Now, who shows up with the New Republic will be pretty interesting. Could it be Carson Teva? Maybe. Could it be Hera Syndulla herself? Possibly. Could it be Omega, like some fans have been holding out hope for? Maybe. But it's definitely not going to be nobody. Some familiar face from the New Republic will arrive. The only question is, who? Now, the counterpart to that, if the New Republic does come in and save the day from these pirates, saves At-Aten, does Thrawn still show up? Thrawn needs the credits way more than the New Republic does. Thrawn needs to fund this army that he's creating currently as the heir to the Empire. The remnant of the Empire is not going to be enough to take over the galaxy again. So he needs the credits more than anybody. So if KB does call out to Kim, who brings the New Republic in, does Thrawn still arrive? Or will it just be this big happy ending with the New Republic comes in and saves the day? Here's why I think it won't be a happy ending. Let's cut to Jude Law and what he has to say about this finale, shall we?
Much comes to a head and you find out, and I'll wait for you to see it.
What do you think fans will say after they've seen the finale? Spoiler free, of course.
Yeah, I think they'll want more.
That right there makes me think cliffhanger. They'll want more makes me think cliffhanger. But keep going.
That's what they'll say. They'll say, when can I get more of this? I think they'll be confounded and kind of, I hope, a little bit upset.
I hope they'll be a little bit upset. What's the deal with that, chat? How would we be a little bit upset if the New Republic comes in and saves the day? If the people of At-Aten defeat the pirates and they remain safe and hidden? Why would we be upset? SM-33 is dead? Well, SM-33 can be put back together. That's the deal. I'm already upset. Okay. Confounded equals great surprise equals plot twist equals Sith planet. Oh my God, Sith planet's a leap right there. That's a leap. That is a leap. Robert says barrier access codes are inside the beacon that the parents sent out. Farah hands them to KB's parents to set them inside. Jod doesn't have to shut off the barrier. Someone is going to find that beacon. Well, the pirates already found that beacon. The beacon is right there next to the pirates. So I agree with you. I think that those pirates don't really need the barrier to come down. They can actually just get in on their own. So maybe Jod is going to find himself in quite the pickle. where maybe the kids and the security droids have turned against him, but the pirates arrive because they already have a way in. Possibly. Jod is going to sacrifice himself. I don't see Jod coming back to the light. Sorry, I just don't. Jod dies too. I don't see him dying. I don't see him dying. John Groom says they're going to be upset that it finishes without answering all the questions. I could see them not answering questions about At-Aten itself, like how long ago it was hidden away, who hid it away, what the real purpose for it was. But questions like Jod's backstory, who the supervisor is, like those need to be answered. And they will. They will. After the way he acted in episode 7, he hopes we'll be upset when he dies. Well, no, I think that he would think we would be happy when he dies. If he dies. I don't think Jod's going to die. I don't. I absolutely do not. No. Jude Law looks scary in this freeze frame. Oh yeah, that is a little, he looks like the Grinch here. A little bit diabolical. Let's keep going.
But it's also got, obviously, it's got a kind of Star Wars glorious ending to it.
So a Star Wars glorious ending, now we've talked about this before, but a Star Wars glorious ending is like all Star Wars movies endings. Giant lightsaber duel, giant space battle, giant land battle. There's going to be a massive, huge, cool Star Wars-y battle happening at the end of this show. It's going to be pirates versus the people of At-Aten. Maybe the New Republic comes in. Maybe Grand Admiral Thrawn comes in. It'll be this massive, as he puts it, Star Wars-y ending. And the question remains, who will win that? Because I have no idea. Please tell me in the chat who you think is going to win this battle. The people of At-Aten seem like the least likely possibility. They have zero training experience with fighting anybody. And all the other 8 hidden planets were all destroyed as well, so they didn't have any training either. But the pirates? I doubt it. It's whoever that third party is that's coming in is likely going to be the winner. Probably. Yeah. After your who piece about connecting the Star Wars galaxy, the poll still says the truth. All right, let's check out this poll. The poll still has 40% of you guys, 39%, 40, 39, 40, jeez, okay. 40%, yes. 40% of you guys still say no one. No one is going to show up in the Skeleton Crew series. Now, with that being said, with that poll staying right there, how are these kids going to survive the pirate attack without any help? If no one's coming, no one's even listening, as Cassian Andor would put it. So is everybody just going to die? Is everybody just going to die? Now, there's a big rumor that this specific character will show up in the finale. I've heard multiple people tell me this rumor. I get DMs about it all the time, that this specific character, and it's a weird one, could show up in this finale. And I'm very intrigued to know what you guys think about this, because I am not on board, at least not yet. And maybe you guys can convince me otherwise. But this character in specifically would be a surprise to me if she did show up. There's your hint. It's a she. If she did show up in this finale, it would really make me think that it's going to be way bigger than I ever could have possibly imagined. And that one person is Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma right now is the Chancellor of the of the New Republic. The Chancellor. She's currently the girl in charge. We saw it a little bit in Ahsoka when Hera and Dula had to go to Coruscant and talk before the people, the senators, and Mon Mothma. If these rumors are true, If she would show up in this finale, it means one of two things is happening. One, she arrives with the New Republic on At-Aten, which is extremely unlikely because she's the Chancellor of the Republic. Why would she go to a war zone? That would not happen. So the other possibility, which is far more likely, is that we would be going to Coruscant in this final episode. And to me, that seems very out of place. In the Skeleton Crew series, where we spent the entire time in the Outer Rim with all these different planets and pirates and all that stuff, going to Coruscant in this finale would seem off to me. Now, maybe it's just the very, very end when Mon Mothma gets word of maybe Grand Admiral Thrawn's return or what happened on At-Aten. I don't know. But the rumor, and again, it's just a rumor for now. Take this with a giant grain of salt. But Mon Mothma showing up in this finale would change everything. It would allow us to, one, know that the New Republic does in fact show up, and two, a very strong likelihood that we'd be going to Coruscant. But tell me in the chat. Give me a 1 if you think Mon Mothma will be in the finale, and give me a 2 if you say no. She's the Supervisor? No. At-Aten is a hidden planet. Mon Mothma wouldn't know about it, and she wouldn't be old enough to be the Supervisor either. John says, it'd be more likely that we see the New Republic base that we saw on The Mandalorian Season 3. Oh, yeah, the base on the Adelphi base? Adelphi base? What was it? I forget. Now, that's a lot of 2s. That is a lot of 2s. So you guys are not on board with the theory of Mon Mothma. That's a surprise, actually, because I've gotten a shit ton of DMs about this specific character, and I'm shocked. Because when it comes to the Skeleton Crew series, I think Thrawn's going to show up at the end. I just do. I'm fully on board the Grand Admiral Thrawn, the big blue meanie bandwagon. I don't think that report of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie being about Embo, like, it just sounds ridiculous to me. Thrawn has to be a part of that story, has to be a part of this story in some way, shape, or form. There's a reason that Ahsoka ended on this big cliffhanger of Thrawn arriving on Dathomir with the Night Sisters. He's going to be the heir to the Empire, and they have to start setting that up piece by piece in all these different Star Wars projects. Thrawn has to have his presence known across the galaxy before he actually steps in as the role of taking over the galaxy. He has to. Fans, normie fans, casual fans, hardcore fans alike have to know who Thrawn is and what his intentions are. At least piece by piece here. Yeah. Embo is probably working for the Imperial Remnant and wants to control the Hutt space. Again, is that really going to be the plot of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Your great return to the movie theaters with your 2 best characters right now, your 2 most popular characters in Din and Grogu, is going to be the exact same plot as the Clone Wars? Jod has some good in him, but he's not a good guy. I don't know. Does he have some good in him? Really? I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe he does. Oh, I missed a super chat? Oh, sorry. Hang on. Let me scroll back up here. What the hell? Where'd that go? Oh. Troy with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that, Troy. Says, this show is so good, and I hope they end it right. Yeah, sticking the landing is a big deal. And with this great show, if you can really stick the landing, then people will be talking about it for a really long time and wanting a second season, wanting more. That's the big deal. That's what you want. Yeah. Oh, Darth Plagueis lives with the very generous $5 holla. Holy crap. Feeling generous already, chat. I appreciate it. Says, any crazy death predictions? Funny you ask. Hang on. I'll get to that in a sec. He goes on to say, I don't want this to end, but I am excited. Yeah, that's kind of how I've been feeling the last couple of days too. I don't want it to end. I don't want this to be our last prediction stream. I don't want this to be the last episode. But the only reason that this finale is going to be so good, or could be so good, is because it has to come to an end. And it has to set up what's to come next. So we're sad because it ends, but we're happy because it happened. And I'm excited too. But going back to your first point, any death predictions? Now, if you've been around this channel long enough, you know that myself, I love a good death prediction. Okay? And I'm actually not the one who is sort of coming up with this one this time. Let's put it that way. The actress who plays KB, Karina, I believe her name is. I have so many articles pulled up right now. I don't know which one this is. Hang on, chat. Got it. Okay. Karina, the girl who plays KB, had this to say about the final 2 episodes of the Skeleton Crew series. Take a look at this. So the question that was asked was, lastly, what is your most cryptically vague word that you can offer for the final 2 episodes? Oh, you guys can't see that. Oh, there you go. For the last 2 episodes. Now keep in mind it's the last 2 episodes and not just the finale. But the one word that she uses is death. Death. Now you know me. I see something like this and ooh, it gets me going. I'm excited to see the possibility of some death. Now, here's the deal. Yes, she is describing the last 2 episodes. And in episode 7, we saw the death of Brutus and the death of SM33. Well, also our boy Glurb. Shout out to Glurb. R.I.P. Glurb. He's never going to get that glow. Hopefully, he's getting that glow weed plantation up in Star Wars heaven. Is that even a thing? Sure. But R.I.P. Glurb. Glurb died. Brutus died. SM33 died. The question becomes, is there more death on the way? She has one word to describe the final 2 episodes of the series, and she chooses death? What do we think, chat? If you had only one shot, one opportunity to predict the death of Skeleton Crew, who would you put? Who would be your prediction? I know I'm going to get a lot of Jods. I know I'm getting a lot of Jods. Jod might come back to the light, sacrifice himself for the greater good. I don't think so. I don't think so. That article is Mike's bat signal. Yes. It actually called to me. I was sleeping at night last night, and I was like, someone's going to die in Skeleton Crew. I literally woke up in a panic, sweat dripping down my face, going, someone's dying in the finale of Skeleton Crew. And that's how I started my morning. That's how it all began this morning. Yeah. And then I Googled it. I said, death, Skeleton Crew. And to my surprise, KB was like, oh yeah, one word to describe the final 2 episodes, death. Death. And I was like, ho, sign me up. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So, if you are predicting death in this final episode, who's it going to be? Yeah, sure, a lot of pirates are going to die, a lot of random characters that we've never seen before, some pedestrians of Atten, but I'm talking main characters here. I'm talking kids' parents, maybe the kids themselves, Jod Na Nawood himself. We're talking big-time deaths. Snowball? No. Not that crazy. God. Just the pirates? Okay. Neil versus Grogu? That would be wild. Yeah. Skeletons in the Supervisor's tower. Interesting. I need Vane to die to hit bingo. You guys got bingo cards for the Skeleton Crew series? We did bingo cards for the Acolyte and the Bad Batch Season 3, but I didn't do any for this show. No, I didn't. Probably should have, though. Probably should have. All right. So, if you've been living under a rock... Oh, whoops. That's wrong. Yeah. So if you've been living under a rock for the last, I don't know, 10 weeks, then you don't know that this is the only remaining, or actually there's two, sorry. There's only two remaining scenes from all the advertisements we've got for the Skeleton Crew series. There's only two remaining scenes that we haven't seen yet. And one of them is in the Supervisor's Tower itself with Wim, Fern, and their parents. So you see here, Fern's on the verge of tears, and we don't know why. They look shocked, and Wim also looks shocked at whatever they're looking at. They're in the Supervisor's Tower, we can tell. Possibly hyperspace behind them, but that seems unlikely at this point. But they're in the Supervisor's Tower, and they're looking at something in shock. I don't know what's going on here, but it does bring up the question, who is the Supervisor? So tell me, chat, who is the Supervisor? This guy who's been locked in his kingdom, locked in his tower, like a Disney princess for hundreds, if not maybe even thousands of years. Who is it? Wim's dad? Oh my God. Sid? No, a droid. I think I'm on the droid bandwagon too. It seems like the Supervisor is likely to be revealed to be a droid. A Wizard of Oz style small guy behind the curtain. Oh, like an Anzellan. Interesting. There are certain species in Star Wars that can live up to hundreds of years, like a Maz Kanata. Now, I don't think Maz will be on this planet, but maybe one of Maz's species. Possibly. Possibly. IG-88. I don't really mean that type of droid. I mean, maybe it is that type of droid, but I'm not saying like a droid we've seen before in Star Wars. I'm just saying more like a droid is in charge. That's the sky behind them. The tower is high in the sky. Honestly, chat, there's no way you're going to convince me that this is the sky behind them. It just doesn't look at all like the sky behind them. It looks like hyperspace to me. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm going to die on that bridge because it looks like hyperspace to me. Okay? Okay. Okay, okay. Yeah. But this is one of only two images that we have yet to see. The other one, see if I can find it really quickly. The other one is even almost more confusing. Like, yes, we're eventually going to find out who the Supervisor is. That was a given almost. We knew that that was coming. But this other image, yeah, I found it. This other image is almost more confusing. Let's say this is the sky. Just because you guys want it to be the sky. Me. That means it's daytime. That means it's daytime when they are in the tower. The only other image that we have from this show is nighttime, as we see Neil, Wim's dad, and KB speeding through the streets of At-Aten. Just the four of them. No Fern, no Fern's mom. And in this image, there's no KB and there's no Neil. So, what's going on here? I feel like in my head, I could play out, or I have an idea of how this show is going to play out. Like I mentioned before, it's likely that the pirates get into the barrier. Maybe Jod shuts it down. I don't know. But the pirates get into the barrier. And in doing so, they're going to start to just decimate the surface of At-Aten, killing all the people, taking all the credits, whatever. They're going to plunder, as pirates do. And in all that chaos, KB is going to call out to Kim, to the Owl, and send in the help from the New Republic. I don't see, with that being the plot, maybe Thrawn shows up, maybe he doesn't, maybe just the New Republic saves the day. Maybe that's the end of the show. Maybe that's it. We get some knowledge of Jod's backstory. We get some answers to who hid At-Aten, why it was hidden, all that stuff. Maybe. But in all of that, I don't see how or why these four end up in the Supervisor's Tower. Or why these four are speeding through the streets of At-Aten with what seems to be some sort of explosion next to them. And it's nighttime. The last episode ended, it was daytime on At-Aten. This seems to be like it's daytime on At-Aten, but this is nighttime. Nighttime. Daytime. Nighttime. Daytime. So the weird thing to me is I feel like I have a almost premise of how this final episode is going to go. And then I look at these two images and I go, I have no idea. I have no freaking clue. Wim changed his clothes. Yeah, Wim changes his clothes. He's wearing some sort of like pink pajamas or like jumpsuit looking thing. I don't even know. He changes his clothes. Fern doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he poops his pants. I don't know. I don't know, chat. I don't know. Mando and Grogu are no challenge for Jod. Interesting. I'm glad you said that. I'm very glad you said that, actually, Miguel, because I want to talk about that. Jod Na Nawood. Let's talk about him for a second. What do we really know about our good pal Jod? By the way, Troy and Plagueis, I appreciate the super chats. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here, so I appreciate it. What do we really know about our boy Jod? Nothing. We don't even know his real name. We don't even know his real name. Now, the question becomes, will we learn about Jod's backstory in this finale? I say yes, but I know a lot of you say no. You say it's not necessary to know about Jod's backstory. But I could not disagree with you any more than I do right now. I couldn't. We need to know Jod's backstory for a bunch of different reasons. One, he's going around quoting Qui-Gon Jinn. He's talking about the having no attachments like he's a Jedi. All that stuff. It's great. It's crazy. It's cool. But he uses the Force in a time where so little people use the Force. So there needs to be answers to how he is capable of doing that, what his backstory with the Force is, and was he once a Jedi? Now, I think this opening, or I guess the show's opening for this finale, is going to be hopefully a flashback, if I were to guess. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But tell me in the chat, do you think Jod is a Jedi? I want to pull this up. We've pulled up this freaking question 10,000 times at this point. And every single time, it's so ridiculously close that it shocks me every time. And I'm going to be shocked again today, hopefully. Do you think Jod was a Jedi? Now, I'm saying was a Jedi because obviously he's not now, but do you think he was a Jedi at some point in his life at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant or the Jedi Order before Order 66? Do you think he was? Yes or no? Yeah. Fart says this show. Fart says, who cares? Star Wars is a dead franchise. Funny you say that, as we are about to watch the finale of a new Star Wars show. You come onto a Star Wars YouTube channel that is talking about the dead franchise you are speaking of, and you yourself are also talking about that dead franchise. Fascinating. Okay, where was I? This mint can't go untouched. The New Republic or the Imperial Remnant have too much to gain with it. I agree with that. We will still have Jod to deal with, which with his skills with the Force must be Luke's job. Interesting, RJ. I like that a lot. Well, yes, I agree with you that somebody has to end up with the fortunes of this Old Republic mint. Somebody has to benefit from all those credits that have been made over the years. Hopefully Thrawn. I really want it to be Thrawn for a couple reasons. One, Thrawn obviously needs it. He needs the money to fund his own army. He needs the money to become the heir to the Empire. But also, after Thrawn loses, after this whole heir to the Empire thing is done and over and done with, and maybe Luke kills Thrawn, or Ezra kills Thrawn, or Hera kills Thrawn, whoever kills Thrawn, when Thrawn is dead, that money that they still have from At-Aten will just get transferred over and also be the explanation as to how the First Order got funding too. Because the First Order has new Stormtrooper armor, new ships, new X-Wings, or TIE fighters, new all this stuff. They make a Star Killer base, a planet-killing planet. Where did they get the money for that? At-Aten. So At-Aten might not only be new lore towards the Old Republic and new ideas for 9 hidden planets, this Jewels of the Old Republic stuff, but it also might be the funding for Thrawn's new empire and the First Order. Yeah. Fart says, oh yeah, don't react to me. I literally just read your comment. What? Then maybe Disney won't suck. Brilliant strategy. I don't understand what your purpose of being here is, Fart. How does he know the Force then? If he wasn't a Jedi, you're saying, how does he know the Force? Well, there's other ways to learn the Force. There's other people who could have taught him, whether it be a Sith like Dooku or Palpatine, or whether he learned it on his own, maybe from somebody who had knowledge of the Force. Maybe. Fearless says, just think this over. In Andor, what is the main problem? Money for the rebellion. Yes. And yeah, exactly, Fearless. So the big problem for the rebellion, the big problem for the empire, big problem for every big organization that's trying to control the galaxy is money. And Atten has an infinite amount of money. Something that literally prints money and already stored 1,139 vaults full of billions, if not trillions, of credits. Yeah. Throw them out the airlock. Should we throw them out? Yeah. MJ, what's up? I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing good. Could Jod have learned from Ventress? I mean, possibly. Yes. That would be crazy. But we're forgetting one thing, Chad. We're forgetting the legendary, craziest character of all time. No, I'm kidding. We're forgetting about the Jedi Nina Nawood. If I haven't said it once, or if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times because I've literally said it 1,000 times. Jedi Nina Nawood only exists when you look up the Skeleton Crew cast on Google. There she is, right there to the side. Oh, chat is blocking it. Hang on. Right there, right on the side. Jedi Nina Nawood, played by Haley Webb. Guess who we haven't seen through 7 episodes of this 8-episode series? Jedi Nina Nawood, played by Haley Webb. So the question becomes, does this character truly exist, or is this just a mistake? Is Google just wrong here? I'm actually going to pull this up in the chat. I want shit, I just started that other poll. I'm going to leave this, I'll ask the chat, okay? Do you think Jedi Nina Nawood exists? Do you think she will appear in this finale? Because if she does, it must warrant a flashback. Yes, chat? Interesting. So I'm seeing a bunch of yeses in the chat. You do think that this character does exist. That brings up a lot of problems. In this so-called over 50-minute episode we're getting tomorrow, how are we going to spend so much time focusing on the backstory of Jod in some sort of flashback sequence to his former master, who, by the way, he stole her name. Her name is Jedi Nina Nawood, and Jod's name is Jod Na Nawood. So he stole her name. That means that he was once a Jedi at the Jedi Order. His master probably died in Order 66, and he's been off doing his own thing for God knows how long. Now the thing becomes, Jod Na Nawood stole his master's name to use as an alias to tell these kids. Just like he used Captain Silvo for the pirates. Just like he used Dash Zenton for Pocket. Just like he used Crimson Jack for the New Republic. So he has all these different aliases, meaning we don't know his real name. We still don't know a single thing about this Jod Na Nawood guy. Not even his first name. It's crazy. We got 1 episode left. So much to explore. So much to be revealed. And we don't even know the main or a main character of this show. It's insane. Jod lost his master during Order 66. That's why he's so angry. That could be it. Here's the deal. If Jod is young enough during Order 66 to lose his master and really sort of take that to heart, he could go down a dark path really quickly. see that the Jedi Order was wrong, much like Luke Skywalker does in The Last Jedi. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but much like, I don't know, the Jedi Order was wrong. By the end of it, the Jedi Order was so insanely corrupted by the dark side, it was beyond fixing. And it caused Order 66. They allowed Palpatine to rise right under their nose. They allowed the Chosen One, who was right in the palm of their hands, to just go away. Turn to the dark side, why don't you? So the Jedi weren't really the best people. And maybe Jod realizes that. After Order 66 happens, after his master is brutally murdered in front of him, and maybe that's what makes him go down a dark path. Maybe, just maybe, the people who hated Jod last week because of what he did will come back around to him and feel for him because of what he became, the reasoning for his fall. It's possible. Thrawn kills, what's up? I think Jod is the perfect age to have been a Padawan. It's close. If he's the same age as Jude Law, which is 52, then he'll be about in his 20s by the time Order 66 happens, which I think is a little bit too old for that to be what I just mentioned. But just because the actor's 52 doesn't mean the character's 52. Yeah. He had nowhere to go and no one to turn to, so he took to the pirates and criminals to hide himself. Yeah, he also had to hide from the Empire to survive. So he loses his master, he loses his order, he loses everything that he knew, and then has to become a pirate because he has to hide from the Empire. And that's why he goes down the path of, for 28 years, having different aliases, turning on people, doing all this stuff, and becomes a villain. Yeah. Yeah. Jedi will always be wrong. The Force requires balance. Well, yeah, there's a light in the dark, but not always. I know this isn't Skeleton Crew question, but if you had to rank every 2024 show, which would be... Wait, if I had to rank every 2024 show? Oh, from like best to worst? Okay. So we had the Bad Batch Season 3, we had The Acolyte, we had Tales of the Empire, and Skeleton Crew. Well, Skeleton Crew wasn't fully in 2024. Sorry, 2024. So I can't really put that at the top, although it is probably towards the top. Yeah. I think I'd have to go Bad Batch Season 3 first. I mean, people forget how great that season was. Like, it's a top 3 animated Star Wars season. Up there with, like, Rebels Season 4, Clone Wars Season 7, Clone Wars Season 5, Rebels Season 3, and Bad Batch Season 3. Like, those are all in the same conversation, those seasons. So Bad Batch Season 3 is the top. Then I'd probably go with The Acolyte, because it's the full season. If Skeleton Crew is full, again, it has to stick the landing here, but I think Skeleton Crew will surpass The Acolyte for me. We'll see. But having said that, I go Bad Batch, Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, then Tales of the Empire. Not that Tales of the Empire was bad, because I liked it quite a bit. I like the Thrawn stuff. I like the Morgan Elsbeth stuff because I'm a big Ahsoka fan. But it wasn't what Tales of the Jedi was. Or it wasn't as good as Tales of the Jedi was. I'll put it that way. Yeah. But that's my list. I think 2024, personally, is one of my favorite years of all time. Star Wars content-wise, I think it's definitely top tier one. I mean, you look at it's just... Personally, for the channel, there's nothing that can beat it. But yeah. Yeah. Do you think that Han Solo and the New Republic fleet are coming to help in the finale? Well, Han Solo would be a surprise to be sure, Brent. I don't think Han would be anywhere close to this. But, yeah. Bravo, Filoni. Dave Filoni's the GOAT. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The Padawan to the creator himself. Everything he touches turns to gold. Wait until we get Andor Season 2, man. I know. Andor Season 2 is in less than 100 days now. I believe 99 days. And I can't freaking wait. It's going to be so good. The only problem is it's the only Star Wars project currently that is slated to release in 2025. I can guarantee you that it will not be the only one. Yeah. I'll guarantee you that much. All right, but going back to Jedi Nina Nawood and Jod being a Jedi, do you think that we will be getting a flashback to the Jedi Order in this finale? What do we think? Does Nina Nawood truly exist, or has Google been lying to us this entire series? Tony Gilroy's the GOAT too? Yeah, he is. There can be more than one GOAT, even though it's the greatest of all time. David, with a very generous $2 holla, David, I appreciate that quite a bit, says, not convinced that Jod is a Force user. Gloves and magnets? Really? Still? After all this time, after 7 episodes of him wielding the Force, grabbing stuff through the air, using the Force to make a noise down the hallway, turning on and off lights, doing all this stuff, you still think it's magnets and buttons? I don't know. I think I'm way past that. I think we are way past that. But hey, maybe you're right. That would be insane. If this episode reveals that he's not even a Force, like how did he grab the lightsaber off the ground? In the lair. Yeah. Yeah, he has the Force. He has the Force. She is a sister or Jod's wife. I don't think they're related. I think if anything, she's his master and he's just using her name. I think the fact that they have the same last name doesn't mean anything because Jod Na Nawood is not his real name. Yeah. I actually think what nobody's really talking about is that the reveal of who Jod truly is, his real name, if we do get a flashback to what his real name is, will be important. Like maybe it's not a character that we really know, but it could be a background character from the Clone Wars or some sort of character from Legends or even a canon novel or something like that. I feel like Jod, us not knowing his name at all, might be leading towards some big reveal of what his name actually is. Yeah. You think Nina will appear in season 2? Interesting. Well, season 2 is not confirmed and might not even be the next time we see our Skeleton Crew cast. Because they're going to appear in other projects. They're going to appear in the Mandoverse movies. I think his name is Jod Na Nawood. They have switched it up so many times that it's that being that is a misdirection. I disagree, Joe. I think why would they tell us, or why would he tell the kids that his name is Jod Na Nawood? If he's telling everybody else in the galaxy a fake name, why would he tell these kids his real name? You know? James Earl Jones is the GOAT. He's also the GOAT. Yes, true. Perhaps the scene in the Supervisor Tower is them trying to stop is them trying to stop freaking out while battles wage on At-Atten between the New Republic, Imperial Remnant, and the pirates. So you think all 3 will show up? Interesting. Interesting. I believe that Jod was a youngling during Order 66. Okay. Okay. This poll is crazy. I mean, over 150 votes. We are 51 to 49. 51% of you guys say no. Jod is not or was not a Jedi at any point. And 49% of you say yes. This has happened now probably 6 or 7 times when we've done these polls over the last 3 weeks. How is this possible? How are we so divided on this main character, whether or not was once a Jedi or not, with 1 episode left? That's crazy. We have to learn about his backstory because we are so divided on it. We have no idea. We don't have the closest clue to what any type of clue to what he actually is, who he actually is. Did you guys talk about the villain of the Mandalorian Grogu news? Yes, slow down, and I don't think any of it's true. It's a rumor from a source that's been wrong before, and it sounds just like a copy and paste of the Clone Wars movie. So I'm going to go with no. Embo is not going to be saving Stinky the Hutt in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. You can clip that too for when it does happen, when it really does happen in when it does happen in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. You can clip that, me saying that with that face on, and stitch it there because I don't want it to happen, and I'm sticking to that. If that happens, it's gonna be if it's maybe a side piece to the story, like a very, very small, maybe opening scene is Grogu and Din saving Stinky the Hutt from Embo, then great, fine, sure, whatever. But it can't be the whole plot of the movie. We're just gonna rewrite the exact same plot of the Clone Wars movie? It sounds stupid to me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, death is the link. At-Atten is going out like Alderaan. Well, right now there's no planet-killing weapon in the galaxy, so it won't go out like Alderaan. Yeah. Yeah. Scoot Allen says, I think his first name is actually Jod, but even... Wait, what? But he doesn't even tell the kids that. Taking the last name from his former master to sound more like a Jedi. Interesting. Interesting. So he's trying to pretend to be a Jedi to these kids, so he takes his former master's name. Well, what if Jedi Nina Nawood isn't his master, but is something of the reason why he hates Jedi? We've never really thought of it this way. What if he learns the Force to combat the Jedi? We learned that his home planet was once one of war. It was a war-torn planet. Because when they get to Akron, he says, it looks like my home. So, inferring that his planet was a war-torn planet. So what if he actually learned the Force from a dark side user or learned it himself to combat the Jedi? And Jedi Nina Nawood is one that he kills himself to save his homeworld from the Jedi invasion as he was once on the other side of it. Just a thought. Just a thought. Rebel Sith says, anyone else having problems with super chats not working? I'm getting some super chats coming in. Dave with another very generous $2 holla says, find a scene where Jod pulls a non-metal thing. Trying to just think of it off the top of my head. He grabs the lightsaber. He grabs Wim's datapad thing that's probably made of metal. He grabs the metal key, of course. Even if this is true, that he's never grabbed anything that's not metal, I still can't believe that it would be a magnet. Like, a magnet is that strong to just go, like, grab a thing from all the way across the room? That's crazy. Got over 260 people here right now. The record, I believe, on stream is 460. And we hit it during the Acolyte times. But that was during a watch party. During a regular stream, I believe the record is probably close to 300. So let's see if we can beat it today. Yeah. JC says, Troy says, did you kick that dude out, Mike? No, he wasn't really causing any harm. He was just being a hater, you know? No, didn't kick him out. All right, where was I? Didn't he break the cuffs using the Force? That's true. He wasn't grabbing something with the Force. He was in handcuffs, and then, boop, they popped right off with using the Force. There you go. Mike, yes? What? The lamp is not metal? Lamp? What? When did he grab a lamp? When did he grab a lamp? I don't remember him grabbing a lamp. But okay, I believe you. I believe you. Oh, the lamp that Fern grabbed. Yeah, that's true. That probably wasn't made of metal. Can we please watch and talk about the video where John Watts and Christopher Ford talk about the finale's length and at lore? I posted it in the Discord videos section. Yes, we can definitely take a look at that. We can definitely take a look at that. Oh, yeah. So I started watching this. Do we have a timestamp on this?
Don't touch.
Oops. I started watching this interview already. But do we have a timestamp as to when they start talking about the finale? Because I'm not going to be able to find it that quickly. Find a way they start talking about the finale, and then we'll watch that for sure. Yeah. But I want to go back to Jod being a Jedi for a quick second because it's something that's going to be very important in this finale. What he is revealed to be is going to be so extremely important that we can't just gloss over it. It's going to be probably the most important thing of this entire show, what his backstory is. Because if he's a Jedi, then there's maybe a chance that he could come back around and save the kids. Because Jedi were always people who would protect other people. And even though he killed Brutus, who was the leader of the pirates, and he chopped off SM-33's head, he was only a droid, and you can fix droids. He hasn't really killed any of the kids or the kids' parents yet, but right now he has a chance, a very small chance, of coming back around to being a good guy if his backstory is revealed to be a Jedi. If not, then it's very unlikely that he's going to turn back to the light. However, there's a reason that I know that we will be learning about his backstory. Whether it's a flashback or not, we will be learning about it in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Okay. Another Mike who loves Star Wars with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that. Mike says, a super chat for Rebel Sith. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rebel Sith, just try and refresh your page or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I appreciate your effort. I appreciate the thought. Okay, we're going back. So this is the big question. We talked about it a million times, but Entertainment Weekly asks Jude Law before the show airs, what can he say in terms of background as a Force user, as his character? And he says it doesn't come out until right near the end. Right near the end. When you really get an insight into the backstory of why he may be a Force user and is Force sensitive. So some people were like, Mike, we already got the backstory in episode 7. We learned that he's a bad guy. No. We're talking an actual insight into the backstory of why he is a Force user or is Force sensitive. We're not talking about just guessing. We're going to get an insight into his backstory, what it looked like, why he's a Force user. We haven't gotten that yet. We've not. Well, let's keep going. And that was a detail that was always there. The creators of the show and Jude went back and made sure that they were all on the same page as to where he was born and what happened to him. So where he was born and what happened to him. Where he's born has already become something important in the show when they go to Akron. And what happened to him clearly is important because it led him down this dark path and becoming a pirate. He goes on to even talk about how a very revealing page in his past would be that he didn't have a childhood. He's someone who had his childhood snatched away from him. And this causes him to look at these kids like they're adults. He doesn't know what a childhood looks like. He has really no concept of innocence, as it says right here. But his childhood was snatched away from him. That sounds like the Jedi to me. That sounds like the Jedi took his life away from him by taking him to the Jedi Temple. But it also could be that a war on his home planet took his childhood away from him. He immediately had to become a soldier in an army, much like the Jedi. But either way, this pretty much confirms to me that in this 8th episode, we will be getting a backstory to Jod. So how long will be the episode tomorrow? Well, according to the Whims actor, Ravi, he says it's over 50 minutes. Yeah. Darth Drafter says, my super chats have been coming through, just not today. Did you try and send one and it's not going through? What's up with that, chat? What's up with that, chat? Oh, wait, somebody else sent one. Maybe you got to refresh the page. I'm not too sure. Haja with a very generous $2 holla says, somehow, super chat for Rebel Sith returned. Nice. I appreciate that. Haja. I really, really do. I appreciate the super chats, guys. It's very, very generous and keep the lights on over here, so I appreciate it. He has a similar childhood to Boba Fett. Well, Boba Fett was a clone, so that's a little bit different. Yeah. Force user doesn't equal Jedi. That is true. That is true. A Force user does not equal Jedi. Oh, say hi to yourselves, chat. Force user does not equal Jedi. That's true. So he could have learned the Force from somewhere else. That's definitely a possibility. I hope it's a flashback, but if it's not, it should explain. It should be explained in some way. Yeah. His backstory will be explained. Whether it's a flashback or not fully depends on which way they go. But what leads me to think it will be a flashback is Jedi Nina Nawood. This actress over here playing the character of Jedi Nina Nawood makes me think we will be getting a flashback. Because if she didn't exist, this wasn't here, then they could just explain the backstory and not show us anything. But because she exists, then maybe we're getting a backstory. I mean, you look at these, like, that's Fern. Even in the show, she looks older than this. This is Wim. Even in the show, he looks older than this. And now they look even older than that because they filmed this over a year ago. These kids are growing up fast. Yeah. Indeed. Jod's interactions with the droid are very Attack of the Clones like. A little bit. Similar as in his parents died young and he has to survive. That's a possibility too. His parents could have died at a very young age and he had to sort of survive on his own, and that's why he doesn't know what a childhood looks like. Yeah. Yeah. I believe he was from Sereno. He has a name that sounds very Dooku-like. I mean, Sereno wasn't really in a war until the Clone Wars. Actually, was it? Not too sure. Skeleton Crew, Episode 3, timestamp 1930. Okay. Episode 3, 1930. Oops. Oh, he turns off the lights. When Jod turns off the lights. Yeah. That's kind of hard to do if you're just using magnets. True. Thanks, Grayfield. Or Grayfied? Grayfied? I appreciate it. I'm flustered. I need to know one more day. I know. It's almost like it's Christmas Eve and you're dying to know what was brought by Santa. It's wild. Just dying. Dying to know. A guy that knows a little bit about it. That is a great name. Says, if she was his mom, it explains the Force user and the last name. And his training ended, when she died during Order 66, or a bounty hunter or inquisitor during the Purge. Well, the problem with Nina Nawood being his mom is that Jedi weren't supposed to have kids or supposed to have attachments at all. So how would Nina have a child when the Jedi aren't supposed to have attachments? Yeah. I like where your head's at, though. Nina Nawood is not in the show. Okay. That's coming from Christopher Ford himself. Is this the real Christopher Ford? I'm leaning more towards now that Nina is not in the show. I've gone back and forth on it quite a bit, but I don't think she is. Let's pull it up, actually. Let's pull it up. Do you think we will be getting a flashback to some point in the Jedi Order where we will be seeing a character named Nina Nawood, or do you think she doesn't exist and we won't be getting that flashback? I'm going to pull it up. Let's pull it up. Do you think Nina Nawood really exists? Yes or no? Do you think she really exists, and do you think she will be in the finale of this Skeleton Crew series? Nina is Jod's sister. That could be an interesting one. Nina gets taken by the Jedi Order and Jod doesn't. Almost like a acolyte situation here. Yeah. That could be. Could be. Jedi do whatever they want, as evidenced by the acolyte. Well, as evidenced by Anakin Skywalker doing whatever he wants, true. But it is not supposed to be that Jedi aren't supposed to do that, you know? Lots of Jedi broke those rules. Yes, but I doubt it. Why would they just post one random character as a misdirect? Why not 2 or 3? Yeah, I agree with that. Why post this character at all? Why does she even exist here? What's the purpose in that? It's a good question. I don't know. That's a good argument. Why put her here? And why did she leave and come back? Like she was on this Google Cast for a while and then she disappeared. And then she came back again. Is there a Nina toy? No, but there's not a toy for all these other things too. Yeah. She's a real actress too. Yes, she is real. Well, obviously they'd have to put a real actress. It wouldn't just be a fake person. Yeah. I think the Mandalorian film will somehow tie Thrawn together with the First Order in some way, so that they could potentially give us hints towards the First Order by the end of the Skeleton Crew, linking to At-Aten. I think you're on to something there, but I don't think it will directly tie to the First Order just yet. I think what we're seeing on At-Aten, this big 1,139 vaults full of credits in an old Republic mint that can print credits, will eventually fund the First Order. But right now, it's not. Yeah. The ending of Episode 7 felt like Revenge of the Sith. Yes, it did. It was almost shot for shot the exact same thing. Yeah. Master Skywalker. Yeah. Hint of Season 2, but doubt by the ratings. Yeah, the numbers are pretty low for the Skeleton Crew series. It's almost like Andor, where not a lot of people are watching it, but everybody who is loves it. It's almost the same conversation we had with Andor. Everybody who's watching it loves it, but not a lot of people are watching it. So it'll be interesting to see if the Skeleton Crew series gets a second season. It fully depends on the finale and if fans want a second season. But right now, it seems like there should be one, but it all depends on the numbers. Yes, you could say all day long that the numbers are what caused The Acolyte to not get a second season, but that's just not it. Yes, it was probably part of it, but it also costs so much money to make that season, $230 million. And it caused a divide in the Star Wars fandom like almost none other. I mean, The Last Jedi is the only thing that you can compare it to. It divided the Star Wars fandom so greatly. This Skeleton Crew show is not doing that. So even with the low viewership numbers, because so many fans love it, it might still end up getting a second season like Andor because fans love it, and it seems to be a consensus that fans love it. And it's not this constant back and forth of people hating it and loving it and people hating it and loving it and hating and loving it. Yeah. Yeah. Anthony says, Mike, I don't want this quality series / storyline to connect to the sequel trilogy. That's almost ruined the entire thing for me. Well, here's the thing, Anthony. You're going to have everything that, or not everything, but most things that are in this Mandoverse time period connect to the sequel trilogy. Because in the Star Wars timeline, that's what comes next. So you're just going to have that. There's no way around it. And I actually think, personally, and I know everybody's going to have a different opinion on this, but personally, I think only adding on to the sequel trilogy lore and all this stuff of how you're going to fund the First Order is only going to make it better. The sequel trilogy, that is. Explaining why Luke Skywalker is an old hermit on Ahch-To, better, will make it better. Showing us Kylo Ren's downfall will make it better, make the character better. Palpatine's return needs to be explained a shit ton more. And I understand because people don't like the sequel trilogy, they don't want to hear that. But when you look at something like At-Aten, it's a brand new planet in the Star Wars galaxy, a brand new concept. These jewels of the Old Republic are brand new, and yet it's adding lore from hundreds, if not thousands of years before. It's adding a new storyline in the Mandoverse time period with the Skeleton Crew series. And it could be funding Thrawn's Heir to the Empire, which will be the next story. And it could be funding the First Order, which is the sequel trilogy. So it might just be a new piece of lore that could be explored earlier in the timeline. It's something that's being explored right now in the Skeleton Crew series, and it's something that can be explored and explained in what's to come next. Heir to the Empire and the sequel trilogy. Yeah. But again, that's just my take on it. I think the sequel trilogy can get a lot better, to me personally, if you explore the time period around it. If you explain Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple and Ben Solo's fall and the First Order's rise and Snoke's rise and all that stuff. But tell me what you think in the chat. And while you're at it, can I get some good cuffs full of orders in the chat, please? Bumpa! Yeah. Indeed. I love the Jewels of the Old Republic thing. Old Republic ties are so freaking cool. Yeah, this is sort of the first instance of getting Old Republic references. Now, some people think that the Old Republic being referenced here is not truly the Old Republic, but only the High Republic era. And maybe that's true. But even still, just the words Old Republic being thrown out there give fans sort of the thought, okay, the Old Republic could be coming sometime soon. Yeah. And that actually kind of brings us perfectly into this news. So yesterday, late last night, this news came about. This is coming from Daniel RPK, I think a better source than Christian, but hey, been wrong times and time before. But here's the news. Lucasfilm is currently developing 2 new animated Star Wars shows. 2 new animated Star Wars shows. Now, and I posted this on my Twitter, if you guys are not following me yet on there. Lucasfilm has not confirmed this yet. This is still just a rumor for now. But with the Bad Batch ending last year in 2024, there is no Star Wars animated show next. And one of the reported next animated Star Wars shows, according to Daniel RPK, is an Old Republic one. And I'm not really a fan of this. I don't think the first project in the Old Republic era should be an animated show. Now, maybe that's just me. Maybe you want an Old Republic animated show. But to me, when you look at Star Wars, it's amazing. Obviously, it's Star Wars. But the animated series, or series, add so much to the story of Star Wars that it's absolutely insane. When you look at Rebels, you look at the Clone Wars, you look at the Bad Batch, it adds so much to the story. So many new characters, so much depth to OG characters. You look at the Clone Wars specifically. Obviously, you spend so much more time with Obi-Wan and Anakin. You learn so much about Anakin's fall to the dark side. You get the whole Mortis arc, but you get Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano is a Padawan to Anakin Skywalker that you wouldn't even know he had if not for the Clone Wars animated series. And the only reason that you know that Ahsoka exists is because of that show, and her leaving the Jedi Order is so drastically important to Anakin's fall to the dark side. So what's to come next for animated Star Wars shows is going to be huge. If it's a Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show, if it's a somehow Mandoverse animated show, I don't know. Or if it's a Rex show or a Hidden Path show with Asajj Ventress, like we don't know what it's going to be, but it's likely it's going to be good and it's going to be big. Multi-season animated show would be fantastic. But the report is 2 new Star Wars animated series. Now, what's really cool about this is in less than 100 days is Andor Season 2, but even less than that, in April, is Star Wars Celebration. And like I mentioned earlier, Andor Season 2 is currently the only Star Wars project that's coming out in 2025. So at Star Wars Celebration, we're going to get an insane amount of announcements for Star Wars projects. Because after Andor Season 2 and Ahsoka Season 2, there are no other Disney Plus Star Wars shows coming out that we know of. So there's going to be a ton of announcements at Star Wars Celebration this year of new animated shows like this, and probably some other ones as well. Live action ones too, hopefully. But only time will tell, and hopefully all that will be revealed at Star Wars Celebration. Oh, Rose with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that, Rose, quite a bit. Says, do you think that Nina Nawood was the character, but her footage was a character, but her footage was cut out, but it got leaked instead? Gives me Kendrick in the rage. Oh, give me Kendrick in the range impression. Oh, Krennic, sorry. Krennic in the range impression. I can do that. I was like, who, what? Who? Do I think that Nina Nawood was a character, but her footage was cut? No. If she ever existed, she's in the show. Because it has something to do with Jod's past, and Jod's past has to be explained. Yeah. Yeah. Lee says, Mike, want me to report from Star Wars Celebration for you? Yes, absolutely. I got a few people that we know. Shout out to Explore the Force. They're going to Star Wars Celebration as well. I think for me, again, like I mentioned on the last stream, it's better for me to sort of stay here, not go to Japan, and cover all the announcements and stuff from here where I can do it. I'd have to like take my PC with me and do all the work there, but I wouldn't be able to do that. So I think it's better for me to stay here. Maybe if a Star Wars Celebration comes closer to me next time, then maybe. But I have some people going, and Lee, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. Lee is the reporter in the field. There you go, Lee. Number one reporter. Coming to you live from Star Wars Celebration, Lee. What do we got, Lee? And news by the people who love Star Wars. Okay. We need a show about Captain Rex and Echo. I'd love that. But is that big enough to support an entire show? You talk about the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars is a 7-season show about Anakin and Obi-Wan. You talk about Star Wars Rebels. Yes, it's a brand new cast, but it's Ezra, it's Kanan, it's Hera, it's the Rebellion. Then you look at the Bad Batch. Now, the Bad Batch is the outlier in that situation. Those Bad Batch characters aren't really big characters, but they tell a huge story. Palpatine cloning, Project Necromancer, Mount Tantus. That's a massive story in the Star Wars universe. So whatever is the next animated story, it has to be that big. It has to be that big in scope. In a Captain Rex show, as awesome as Captain Rex is, and as much as I love the character, I don't see it being that important. You know? Steve says, Andor Season 1 is a how-to guide for a revolution. It's freaking awesome. I agree with that. Season 2 will be better. I think Season 2 will be better. Yeah. Indeed. Mike, Jod's real name is nothing. He had no childhood and remains nameless. That would be interesting. If he really has no name? I doubt that. I think he had a name. Yeah. Will they live stream it on the YouTube Star Wars channel? Oh, like the like Star Wars Celebration itself? Usually they live stream the panels, like when they interview the actors and stuff. So probably. Yeah. Darth Vader show would be a great idea for a Star Wars before the Star Wars franchise, you say? I agree with you. A Vader show would be great. I don't know. Vader is the main character of the first 2 trilogies. So, we'll see. Yeah. Also, we need to know where Commander Cody went. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that big cliffhanger in the Bad Batch of Commander Cody not coming back, it needs to be explained. Commander Cody's the second biggest clone behind Rex, so it does need to be explained. Yeah. Vader to Skeleton Crew? No. Vader cannot be in Skeleton Crew as he has been dead for quite some time. Well, I mean, you could have an Anakin Force Ghost, but no, I don't think so. No, definitely not. Yeah. I appreciate that, Nathan. A Captain Rex show would overlap with the Path show. I think it would all be combined into one. Like Captain Rex helps out Asajj Ventress and the others with the Hidden Path. I could see that being a show. But an animated Luke and Leia and Han in a Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show would be incredible. Yeah. Oh, I forgot the Krennic impression. Yes, I did. Sorry. Krennic impression. What kind of Krennic impression did you want? Something about a driving range or something? Or rage? What was the Krennic impression? Krennic I forget the impression. Was it the It's Beautiful scene? Whoops. This is my Death Star scene? Okay, I can do that. This is my Death Star.
Your work exceeds all expectations.
You'll tell the Emperor as much.
Hang on, chat. Let's not forget that in less than 100 days, this guy returns. Krennic will be in Andor Season 2. Keep that in your mind.
I will tell him that his patience with your misadventures has been rewarded with a weapon that will bring a swift end to the rebellion.
We stand here amidst my achievement, not yours!
I like that.
We stand here amidst my achievement, not yours!
We stand here amidst my achievement, not yours! Not yours! That was a little loud. That was a little loud. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Rose. I really, really do. But it's my achievement, not yours! The mic didn't like that. I know I could hear it like peeking over, but you know, what are you gonna? What are you gonna do, chat? Sometimes you gotta just drink out of a comically large cup on a live stream talking about Star Wars. Okay, let's get back to Skeleton Crew, shall we? So, from KB saying the one word that will that she would describe these last two episodes as is death, and Jude Law saying that his childhood was snatched away from him, and we will be getting an insight into his backstory of why he is a Force user. Ravi, the actor who plays Wim, saying that this finale will be over 50 minutes long, and the possible appearance of a random new character named Jedi Nina Nawood. This finale, and that doesn't even mention the fact that these two images show them in the Supervisor's tower and speeding across Atten on speeder bikes. This finale could be enormous, like way bigger than we could possibly ever imagine. And with only 50 minutes, how are we going to get to all of this? Empire Films, what's up? It's been a while. How we doing? How are we going to get to all of this? And what do you think? What other surprises do you think are coming? Is Grand Admiral Thrawn going to be in this final episode? Blue Cat, what's up? Will Din and Grogu be in this final episode? Will Hera Syndulla be in this final episode? Will Mon freaking Mothma be in this final episode? I want crazy theories, because this is it, chat. This is our final prediction stream for the Skeleton Crew series. Forever, we will never get another chance like this. This is your final chance to predict your craziest predictions for the Skeleton Crew finale, or else you'll be the guy who went, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that, Mike, if you gave me the chance, but you didn't give me the chance to say that, Mike. Now's your chance. Tell me, what do you think is going down in this final episode of Skeleton Crew? Will it set up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Will the Mandalorian and Grogu movie just be about Embo chasing down Stinky the Hut, recreating the Clone Wars animated movie again? Or will Skeleton Crew set up Grand Admiral Thrawn, the hero of Atten? Will Thrawn come in with the remnant of the Empire with his brand new Night Sister army, take over Atten, but as the hero, as the guy who saved the people of Atten from their doom from pirates? The New Republic does not arrive. Thrawn does. And instead of Thrawn being the bad guy to these people, he's the hero. He's the hero. And he takes the credits to fund his own army. The New Republic never finds out about At-Aten, and they are caught by surprise when Grand Admiral Thrawn has a massive, fully funded army. What do we think? What do we think? I think my favorite theory from this from the chats we've had so far, and what I would hope to happen the most, would be that KB calls out to Kim, and she calls the New Republic to come save the people of At-Aten, and Din and Grogu shows up. Din and Grogu show up with a couple X-Wings, and they get absolutely decimated by Thrawn, so that Din and Grogu get to see Thrawn with their own two eyes, and they go back and report back to Coruscant, to Mon Mothma, and tell them that Thrawn is here. Din doesn't know who Thrawn is, but Mon Mothma does. And they, one, set up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie because now they know who Thrawn is. They've seen Thrawn with their own two eyes. They've seen what he's capable of. And two, they warn the whole galaxy that the heir to the Empire is here. It would be like the most crazy ending that nobody was expecting, and it would perfectly, I mean, perfectly set up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But tell me what you think in the chat. Tell me what you think. I love that theory. Thanks, Vic. TV says, what is the First Order? Wait, what is the First Order or succeeds? Oh, what if the First Order succeeds in getting the credits, but fails in getting the tech to keep the planet concealed, so they are funded but forced to the Outer Rim? That's a possibility. At-Aten gets revealed to the New Republic as well. Maybe. Han Solo may turn up. Since somebody mentioned that in the chat, I mean, Han Solo will be great, but I seriously doubt it. Yeah. I like your prediction. You're hired. That's the thing. I feel like I couldn't write this entire show. I couldn't come up with the premise of these jewels of the Old Republic, of At-Aten, of all these hidden planets, of a Force-using pirate played by Jude Law, these 4 kids. I couldn't come up with the story. However, having seen 7 of the 8 episodes, I could come up with the ending. I could do that. I could do that much of the process. So if you can give me a great story with great characters, then I could give you an ending. Yeah. Thrawn takes the credits. Thrawn takes the credits and the credits. Isn't that Jod's role, though? Well, Jod might be thrown into the bigger pool here. He's a big fish in a small pool right now, but he might end up being a small fish in an ocean. Let me explain. Jod currently is the leader of the pirates, but there's something way bigger for him out there, and that is to help out Thrawn as the heir to the Empire. Thrawn needs a Force user with a lightsaber, and Jod is that guy. He could be our canon version of a Joruus C'baoth. Now, what I want to see in Skeleton Crew's finale is the true power of Jod Na Nawood. I want to know how powerful he really is. Is he just a guy who can somewhat wield the Force? Or is he really powerful? Like, really powerful? Yeah. Jay says, a Night Sister is the Supervisor and will turn over all the vaults to Thrawn. That would be crazy, but a Night Sister doesn't live that long. The Supervisor being somebody who's not a robot or a droid would be surprising to me, because it would have to be a species that lives long. Thrawn doesn't need a Sith or a Jedi. He has the Night Sisters. True, but even still, I think he needs somebody with a lightsaber. Yeah. Best Lex Luthor says, I don't think we'll get a cameo from somebody big, good or bad. Okay. Well, then how does it end? Who wins? These people of At-Aten are not going to be able to stay alive from these pirate attacks. So somebody's going to have to come in and save the day. The New Republic and the Imperial Remnant battle, and Luke Skywalker is the unknown element that leads to Thrawn having to retreat. It establishes that Thrawn can be beat, and by unexpected elements. I don't like that. I don't like Thrawn's first battle being a loss. I need Thrawn to get a bunch of wins under his belt so people can go, oh crap, Thrawn's the real deal here. Yeah. The Supervisor's voice could be a recording. Yeah, I don't think that voice from the last episode was really the guy who's in the seat, you know? It's likely to just be a droid. Omega shows up in an X-Wing. I'd love that. I mean, I'm a huge Omega fan. The way that they set it up in the Bad Batch Season 3 was like you're going to see more Omega at some point. But we'll see. Luke Skywalker cameo sounds just too crazy and far out there. But again, I would have said that at the end of Mando Season 2. Like if you said in Mando Season 2 Luke Skywalker's going to show up, I'd be like, yeah, you're crazy. So I'm saying the same thing here. Yeah, you're crazy. And I still think you're crazy. And I still don't think it's going to happen. I think the barrier will be disabled while they are fighting off the pirates. The lack of the barrier will leave them open. Yeah, leave them open to what, though? If we see Omega in the Marauder Jr., my head will explode. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. The Supervisor is not the captain. Their voices are different. Yeah, there's no way the Supervisor is Captain Tack Rennet. There's just no way. I think it'll establish that Ezra is replacing Luke in this version of Heir to the Empire. I hope not, because Luke still exists. Luke still is a big part of the story. So I hope not. Yeah. Oh yeah, the video. Did you send me the timestamps? Rebel Sith, I need timestamps on this video when they talk about it. I can't just go through the whole 18-minute video. By the way, do you guys think that Nina will show up and does she really exist? 69%, nice, of you guys say yes. Timestamps? Oh, like at what point in the video? The time in the video, like 10 minutes and 33 seconds or whatever it is. Do they start talking about the finale? Because the video you sent is a 18, 19-minute long video. I need to know exactly when they're talking about specifically the finale. Yeah. Yeah. Have you listened to 500 Miles by the Proclaimers? Yes. Why? Da-da-da! Da-da-da! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Yeah, check out the poster. Oh yeah, the poster for episode 7. Let's check that out. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. Let's check this out. They also posted this thing too. Oh, wait. This is sad. Knowing that we only have one episode left of Skeleton Crew. Sad days. Yeah. That's not what I was looking for. Star Wars. Oh, wait, what? Oh. First of all, let's do this. What Skeleton Crew location would you want to visit most? Lanupa, Port Borgo, at Atten, or at Akron? All right, chat. What are we going to vote? How are we going to vote? At Akron is the war-torn version of At Atten. At Atten, of course, is the hidden planet. Port Borgo is the pirate port. And Lanupa is the nice spa with the lair. I think I'm leaning Lanupa. Lanupa's a nice spa. It's got some ancient Sith text on it. It's got a cool booby-trapped treasure down below. What are we thinking, chat? Lanupa? Lanupa for sure. All right, we're going Lanupa. We're going Lanupa. Let's see where everybody... Oh, Atten's in the lead? Well, Lanupa's at least second. It's at least second. All right, but let's get to this. So this was the poster for episode 7. He, of course, got Jod in his helmet with his lightsaber ignited, which actually never happened, right? He didn't ignite his lightsaber when he was wearing the helmet. But whatever. You got the kids all lined up there. You got this gigantic vault right in there. Pretty dang cool, if I do say so myself. There you go. They also released this. Doesn't have any volume. It's got all these different locations from the show and different cool scenes, I guess, from the show. Oh, it's just on repeat. Okay. Cool. And I thought this was a new Andor trailer, but it's not. It just says catch up on Andor Season 1. Revisit the first season before second season. Yeah. There you go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, I missed the super chat. Hang on. I missed the super chat. Blue Cat with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate it, Blue Cat. I really, really do. This is Mike. I think Thrawn will be more subtle than that. He uses At-Atten to manipulate the New Republic. Interesting. How so? I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships keep the light on over here. So I appreciate it. If you are not yet a member, there's a link in the description below to become a member. You get instant access to giveaways, which, by the way, we'll have one in a couple weeks, and instant access to the members-only portion of the Discord, and, of course, some other cool features as well. You get that nice, cool badge next to your name in the chat. And if you are not yet in the Discord, there's a completely free Discord in the description below. To the people who love Star Wars, go join the Discord immediately. We got a bunch of people in there talking Star Wars all day long. It's a lot of fun. But I always forget to mention those things, so I always have to remind myself to do that. So I just did it right there. Boom. Done. Got it. Okay. Where were we? Yeah. But I appreciate it, Blue Cat. I really, really do. I think Thrawn will have to get some wins under his belt before we get to see him lose, you know? Yeah. Another Mike who loves Star Wars says, Mike, sorry about that. I didn't realize that my membership was on pause due to a failed transaction. It's been resolved. Well, I appreciate it, Mike. I didn't notice either, but I appreciate it, yeah. Yeah. Rebel Sith says, he asks, what did they do? What did they want to put in the show at 3:07, and John Watts briefly speaks on the teaks, then Ford talks about At-Atten. Okay. So at 3:07. 3:07. Let's watch this. So this is an interview from Collider with John Watts and Chris Ford, the showrunners of the show.
You each fought for that. You were like, this has to be in the show, and someone else was pushing back, and you're like, no, this has to be in the show.
Not necessarily pushing back, but I really wanted to make sure that hologram in season 1 was there.
In episode 1.
In episode 1, yeah, the hologram.
Season 1? Was that a mistake?
That everyone is, the Neil's brothers and sisters are watching. That one I was pretty insistent on.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just, for me it was, we create our own little piece of new lore about these like the planet kind of category that the kids At-Atten comes from, like the jewels of the Republic, of the old Republic. So that was.
He corrected himself there too, from Republic to Old Republic.
It was like really interesting to get to kind of make up a new little piece.
Yeah, make up a little piece of history.
Yeah, exactly. So, I wanted to be able to do that because.
By the way, this is John Watts on the left here, and this is Chris Ford on the right. Chris is talking about how they created a new piece of lore in the Star Wars timeline. They created this piece of lore that is so badass. Jewels of the Old Republic, 9 hidden planets. Yeah.
We could have not done that, but I felt like it. What I love in Star Wars is there's always a little bit more than you know about. There's always like, oh, well, you'll learn about this thing, but that's only one piece of a larger piece.
Yeah.
So it's like.
I don't know that we ever had anything that was like dramatically pushed back on.
No, I mean, that's the crazy thing about this whole project was like working with the team we were working with. We were so like protected and
yeah, you feel very
and,
safe.
Yeah, because
with the team we had.
because Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau having themselves made Star Wars, Disney Plus Star Wars shows, now be like overseeing us being our mentors in this.
There you go. John and Dave have gone from the guys who made The Mandalorian to guys who now oversee other Disney Plus shows. Yes, they're still making stuff. They're making movies now, but they're still overseeing all these other projects. Dave Filoni specifically has the CCO position now where he oversees everything. And there's pretty much the safety net of all these things.
They knew all the pitfalls and they knew what we were going through more than if they had just been producers from the start and they hadn't been making their own shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was the one who...
So it's guys who work on Star Wars, who know Star Wars, who are going to be the most helpful. Like, it's just not rocket science here.
said, I want to make sure I say this, the teak from Ewoks The Battle of Endor is now canon. So who is the one who said we need to make this happen?
That's a really good, because that's the thing where
you wanted the teak and then I made him look kind of like really rough because he's like, the teaks are really fluffy.
I've seen this part of it. They talk about the teak for a little bit here. Hang on, let's fast forward.
So it's kind of like
What, was it one of you that came up with it? Like, we need to do this?
I wonder, because we talked a lot about, and we had pulled other like references to the Ewok Adventures.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was from someone on Doug Chang's team.
It might have been pitched back from Doug Chang.
Like, just look at this piece of art. And we're like, whoa, yes.
The thing that we both definitely wanted to make sure we did, though, was that he moved fast. Like that, and trying to do that in a way that doesn't look old and weird and dated.
Be like X-Men.
Yeah.
Speed.
It has to just be like fast enough that it feels referential.
Yeah.
Are there any Easter eggs or other creatures that audiences should be looking out for?
I mean, everyone figured out the fuzzball from Captain
trailer.
EO in the trailer. Yeah, I think there's quite a few things that are.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that they'll go in the archive, and if we're looking for, say, like a big monstrous alien, and there's like, I don't know if it was, literally like old Dagobah rejected or unused sketches for different creatures, but like, that's in there.
They do that all the time with these Star Wars shows, especially on Disney Plus. They take unworked or unused ideas from the original trilogy, like original Ralph McQuarrie drawings or something, and they bring them into the Star Wars universe. So, for example, the giant ice spider things, or the spiders on the ice planet from The Mandalorian Season 2, those are Ralph McQuarrie drawings from actually supposed to be on Dagobah in The Empire Strikes Back, but that's kind of what they're explaining here.
Yeah, some of the ships are Easter eggs. If you look
Oh
closely
my
in the
gosh,
background.
yes, there's a lot of parked ships.
A lot of parked ships. Now, we've seen a couple of them. We saw, of course, Hondo Unaka's ship from Galaxy's Edge. We saw the sort of cart, I guess, for lack of a better word, the cart from Star Tours, from Star Wars, from Disneyland, in at the pirate port. And we even see like almost like a Moff Gideon-esque cruiser meets pirate ship in episode 5 or 6 too.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking deep. Oh yeah, that's a really good
In what
one.
episode should people be looking for this?
You see that in the second episode, right? That's where you have
2 and 3.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so in 2 and 3 is the pirate port, and that's where we see the Hondo Unaka ship in the Star Tours. So.
Yeah, I know. It's
and the original concept for the Millennium Falcon.
I don't want to say it for people that haven't seen it yet. How much did you guys debate the opening text and the...
Oh, they talk about the opening text there. Is there anything about the finale, though, in this? Like, specifically? Okay, what's up? What is up? I've also seen theories that Neil's dad is the supervisor, but I don't know if I believe it. I don't think so either. I mean, the supervisor is likely to be a droid, but Neil's dad's sort of absence is a little strange. Another Mike who loves Star Wars with a very generous $2 holla, Mike. I appreciate that. Says, what if Nina shows up in present day, not in flashbacks? Well, that would be a little bit difficult because the actress who's playing her is only about 36, I believe. Somebody fact check me on that. But Haley Webb is only about 36 years old, and Order 66 happened 28 years before the Skeleton Crew show starts. So it doesn't really seem to me that it would be possible for her to show up in present day and still be a master to Jod or even have any sort of relation to Jod. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Andy K says, I love that about Star Wars too. Every new bits of lore every episode. Yeah, it's Skeleton Crew is going to go down as probably one of the better Disney Plus Star Wars shows, I think, if they can stick the landing here, because of that. What it's adding to the lore of Star Wars is way more than The Mandalorian ever did, way more than Andor ever did. Ahsoka, not so much. Book of Boba Fett ever did. Like, Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew specifically, the last two Mandoverse projects have added so much to the Star Wars lore that it's insane. Like, that's what it should be doing. Yeah. Of course, Justin. Of course. Google says that Jod is in his 20s or 30s. I get that, but, like, let's be real here. Jude Law is 52. He's not playing a 20-year-old. Yeah. I will be laughing my butt off if Nina is Jod's daughter. That would come out of nowhere, and it wouldn't really make much sense, but yeah. Matthew says, I want my own Star Wars story. Then go get it, Matthew. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Go get it. Don't assume Nina Nawood is a human. She could be someone that lives long like an alien. Interesting. Yeah, we're assuming that Nina Nawood is going to be a human Jedi. The more you know, or the more you think. Because, yeah, not all Jedis and Padawans are the same species. Anakin and Ahsoka. They're both not human. Interesting. Interesting. Mando did the cloning / Palpatine lore, though. That's true, but that's nowhere close to adding a new galaxy like Ahsoka did with all these Night Sister lore and all that stuff. Or and Mortis gods and stuff, or with Skeleton Crew adding lore to the Old Republic and these 9 hidden planets that are extremely important that have an Old Republic mints on. Like, yes, the Mandalorian does add to the lore, especially with cloning and Palpatine, but nowhere close to the other two. Yeah. 49 at filming. Oh, you're saying Jude Law was 49 at filming? There you go. 49. Mike says, another Mike who loves Star Wars says, Mike, Haley Webb is 39 years old. She'd be about 13 at the time of Order 66 if she indeed was showing up in present day. There you go. There you go. A Mike in his subscribers version of Star Wars? That'd be wild. I'd love to do a fan film someday, but I don't even know what I would do it about. I don't know. James says, still think the Supervisor is another SM-33 model. Interesting. 33 was built on at Akron. No. 33 says that he was built on Lanupa. Yeah. Jedi Jarvo says, in my opinion, the best Star Wars show they've made. Skeleton Crew, sorry. It brings Star Wars back to the way it's meant to be and the way we're meant to feel. Interesting. I think a lot of people are going to be of the same mind as you there, that this Skeleton Crew show is the best Star Wars show they've ever made. I am not of that mind, at least not yet. The finale could blow me away. But I don't know. I think a lot of fans will agree with you with that one. This will become a lot of fans' favorite show. It does make you feel like you are in Star Wars yourself, whether you're Wim or Fern or KB or Neil. And it makes you feel that sort of love for Star Wars that some people have forgotten about, I guess. Yeah. Star Wars Order says, when you go to Google and look up exactly Nina Nawood Star Wars, a video of yours comes up, no picture or info. What you talking about? You Google Nina Nawood. Nina Nawood Star Wars. Oh yeah, so it's a live stream of ours. That's funny. That's funny. There you go. The more you know. All right, I'm going to end this poll, by the way. Let's end this one. See where we're at. Little stretch. Okay. Do you think that Nina Nawood really exists? 68% of you say yes. Well, it'll be revealed tomorrow. It'll all be revealed tomorrow. Crazy. Go to this timestamp 10:20 runtime question. Okay, let's talk this. Let's do this. 10:20, you say.
Oh, there was a requirement. Yeah, but we didn't do it.
I think it actually ended up being fine.
We were fine.
Well, like because episode 2's 30, but
Yeah.
episode 3 is longer. So what
Yeah.
about 4 through 8? Are they mostly 30 minutes? Are they? And how long is the finale? Is it an hour? Is it 50? Is it 45?
It's like 45.
It's not an hour.
It's not an hour. It's not a full hour.
Yeah, this episode 2 is the shortest one.
Yeah.
So he confirms episode 2 is the shortest one, and that is true. Around 34 minutes, I believe. So he says about 45 minutes. He's not actually specifically sure. I'm guessing that he's saying 45 as in an actual runtime. That's no credits, no nothing. But again, we'll see. But he says not an hour, specifically not an hour. So I'm guessing between 45 minutes and an hour with credits, with all that stuff, but it's under an hour. Yeah. I'm going to guess 53 minutes. It's just what comes to mind. 53. That's it. But let's keep going.
That's the most breezy.
Yeah. Everything's like 35, 40.
40,
right?
around 40.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think fans are going to say after they see the finale?
Hopefully they're going to say, wow, we want to see more
What happens
adventures with
next?
the skeleton crew. Yeah.
What happens next? And we want to see more adventures with the skeleton crew. Okay.
But
there are some pretty big potential like repercussions for the larger galaxy after.
Potential repercussions for the larger galaxy. I see no way where this show comes out, where this finale comes out, where there's no New Republic showing up. Even if it's not Grand Admiral Thrawn, even if it's not the bad guys, there's no way it doesn't tie into the greater galaxy, just like he said there. And obviously he's not trying to spoil anything, but let's go back.
Potential like repercussions for the larger galaxy after.
Yeah, I'm really
the
interested to
last
see like
episode.
the discussion and like
After the last episode. After the last episode.
how people interpret what happened and what they think would happen next.
Yeah.
And
How people will interpret what happens. Interesting.
interpreting stuff about the characters and what they
No, I don't want. What's funny is I don't want anything.
and like how people interpret.
Say, wow, we want to see more
What happens
adventures with the
next?
skeleton crew. Yeah.
But
there are some
yeah.
pretty big potential like repercussions for the larger
Yeah.
galaxy after.
Yeah, I'm really
the
interested to
last
see like
episode.
the discussion and like how people interpret what happened and what they think would happen next.
Yeah.
And interpreting stuff about the characters and what they
No, I don't want. What's funny is I don't want anything spoiled. I
Yeah.
want to see it. But I am curious what people are going to think.
Yeah,
So
We are too, because there's something like when you have a really well-educated and like mythology versed fan base like Star Wars does, you take a couple of big swings and you really kind of want to see how people interpret it.
Interesting. So we're taking big swings in this final episode. And I can't wait to see what's coming.
And I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see what people think about what we did.
So this show has definitely a Goonies vibe.
I had to go and talk about other stuff. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that response quite a bit. Seeing how we're going to interpret it. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're running the risk of having a finale that people don't like, doing something that people don't like. Everything's a big risk in Star Wars. A lot of people thought that we wouldn't like Grogu, and I mean, look, he's everywhere. Look down, he's on your shirt right now. And guess what? Yes, today that's true. He is on my shirt. But yeah, that's pretty wild. So everything's a pretty big risk when it comes to Star Wars, and they don't know how we're going to interpret this. But the fact that something needs to be interpreted, pretty wild when you think about it. Like, it seems like a pretty straightforward ending to me that's coming, but I don't know. All right, throw in your final predictions for this episode. I do have to get on out of here pretty soon, but get those final predictions in here. Will we be seeing Grand Admiral Thrawn? Will we be seeing Din and Grogu? Will we be seeing Hera Syndulla, Mon Mothma, or even And Bo. No, I'm kidding. I hate that quite a bit, but we'll talk about that another time. We'll be seeing flashbacks to Order 66. We'll be seeing a flashback for just Jod's backstory. What do we think's going now? Cliffhanger incoming? Possibly. Possibly. There will be a wide interpretations of this wide interpretations of these finales of this finale. Sorry, maybe. I think you're right. Thrawn will show up and destroy the planet, and the people of both At-Aten, or destroy the pirates, and the people of At-Aten will see him as the hero. That's actually what I think could happen now more than ever because of people interpreting it in different ways. Thrawn coming in and saving the day, these people of At-Aten thinking that that's what's right. That's possible. Jod is a Padawan dropped out pre-Order 66, Andy K says, with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that, Andy K. I feel like that's a lot to explain in a quick flashback, that Jod left the Jedi Order early. Now, maybe. But I don't know. We shall see. And, of course, do you guys think we'll be seeing Nina Nawood in the finale? A Marvel-style end credit scene? Well, we have seen that before in Star Wars. Mando Season 2 specifically had the Book of Boba Fett set up in a post-credit scene. Yeah. Maybe Thrawn will show up after all. Maybe. I've been saying Thrawn's going to show up for weeks. You guys have been calling me crazy. And now all of a sudden, it seems like it might happen. How would Thrawn know the location of the planet? That's a great question, Kay. That's sort of what the question would be. If Thrawn does show up, the question becomes, how did he know it was there? And that's the best part about Thrawn, is he's a freaking genius, and he knows everything. What he lacks in the ability to wield the Force and wield the lightsaber, he knows all. That's how he can control the whole galaxy. That's how he is such a good threat, such a great villain, because he knows all. So if he shows up on At-Aten, we don't even need an explanation to how he knows. Oh, maybe we'll get one. But it's because he knows all. He's a freaking genius. But that can't be the explanation why. There needs to be an explanation. Yeah, true. I appreciate the hearts, guys. I really do. Carson Teva showing up. Carson Teva could show up. I think he's probably more likely than Harrison Dula or something like that. Yeah. All right. I do have to get on out of here, though. I appreciate you guys. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face or some of the recommended feed of yours. Smash a like if you have not already. We had like 200 plus people the whole stream. That was pretty wild. So I appreciate you guys so much more than you will ever know. Smash that like if you haven't already. How many likes we got? 150? What the heck? 149? We just lost a like. This is not how this is supposed to work. Smash a like if you have not already on your way out. I appreciate you guys. This is going to be a crazy, crazy episode tomorrow, and I can't wait. Watch over the watch party live tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will watch it live together, and then a breakdown video on Wednesday. I appreciate it. But until then, keep the conversation going in the Discord, and may the Force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. This was a crazy stream. I mean, last prediction stream for Skeleton Crew had to go out on a bang. But until then, hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.